Hello, this is MJ. I love Tokusatsu, and right now I want to talk about the official look, the press conference, the notes that were put out by translators and all other sorts of good people about Kamen Rider Zero-One, the Reiwa era Kamen Rider, whose show will begin September 1st. Being a super weeb here. And, September 01. Anyway, I just remembered I got to go watch the trailer real quick because let me see, was it GenmCorp subs that put it out? Let me pull that up right now. That's the recording app. That's not what I want. I want Flood. There we go. Yes, GenmCorp put out the subs, so I'm going to go watch that trailer right now, and then I will come right back. So I watched the trailer. It feels very exciting. They're emphasizing that this is a new era. They keep saying he's the president rider and like the president Kamen Rider and whatever. It's funny, they say like he's the artificial intelligence Kamen Rider, he's the president Kamen Rider, he's the something else rider, and I thought that was a little interesting. I definitely like the look of his henshin, and I do like the so there's the A.I.M.S group, there's the terrorists, terrorist hacker people who want to end the world, I guess, but there's also confusion or stuff going on about the singularity, and when that approaches, humanity will be doomed or whatnot, which is fine. That's not what I meant, but that's an element of the show. But then you have these they called Humagir people, who are basically bioroids. If you've ever seen, he did something way more popular, which I think was Ghost in the Shell, but the guy who did Ghost in the Shell also made the manga for not Pat Labor. Appleseed, yes. Anyway, Appleseed Appleseed was a post-apocalyptic story where humanity had insulated, a certain subset of humanity had insulated itself from war, constant world war that was going on between people, and they had also genetically engineered human-robot hybrids, basically, called bioroids. They're biological androids is probably what that means, and they were similar because they were a subservient class, a kind of basically a second class, and the function of the bioroids was to stop humans from being idiots and stop humans from destroying themselves. So a guidance counselor, or like service people, maybe not like a firefighter, but like a traditional Japanese kind of what do they call them, like box policemen, where they help people deal with small issues as opposed to like high crimes and stuff like that. Those were all bioroids. There was bioroid mechanics, there's bioroids working, just like the people who have their chill were these bioroids, and they were interspersed throughout all of society, and it made for a more cohesive utopia practically. Interesting that sort of thing is going on in this show too with the Humagir. And it's an interesting concept. I believe there's some interesting... Well, I just hope that with the bad ones, or some of them being corrupted and hacked and stuff, that our rider is going to be fixing them and not just destroying them and hunting them down mercilessly and killing every single one of this subhuman race like the Romudes in Kamen Rider Drive, because that stuff sucks. That's not good. That's not good stuff to be giving to kids. Like, hey, look, there are people who are slightly different from us. They're almost like us, but they're not. Therefore, whenever they do something bad, they are inhuman and they should be destroyed. I think that sort of stuff is bad. I think that sort of stuff happens in politics. It's very easy to other people who disagree with us. I actually know somebody. I'm not going to be a jerk. I'm subtweeting you, bud, if you're listening to this at all. I know somebody who has very strong political leanings, who seems like a genuine, loving person, but who I have seen also turn around and be opposed to people who I would say are, I don't know, I have some sympathy towards, because they are not in agreement with him over political things. And, he sees everything, I think, as far as I know, as everything's burning, everything's on fire, everything's being destroyed. And I'm much more optimistic over here on the, right of center side of things, and he's, I'll just say, minimally left of center, and I feel like he'd be an awesome dude to raise other humans and help them to be sympathetic and have heart and have all these other things. But anyway, him and people like him unfortunately don't do that. But why am I talking about this when I'm supposed to be talking about Kamen Rider? Because Kamen Rider is a children's television show. What children's media, what children are exposed to in their media gets into them a little bit, and depending on who they are and what circumstances they're in, it'll influence the way they grow up. So I'll be interested to see how moral and how righteous this show is, because I believe the original Kamen Rider was very moral and righteous. Kamen Rider Black was very moral and righteous. Kamen Rider Ghost was very moral and righteous. My favorite Kamen Riders have been very moral and righteous, and there's a few that I reject because they don't fit that. Speaking of which, one of my favorite Kamen Rider series is X-Aid, and I have a bunch of screen grabs that I want to use to talk about the staff of the show, and yeah, so there was, okay, so at Peachiest underscore, yeah, Peach or Peachiest, probably Peachiest underscore, says that the producers will be Chihiro Inoue and Takahito Omori. Omori's the one who made comments about Yellow Ranger girls not being strong or something like that. The main writer is Yuya Takahashi. The main director is Teruaki Sugihara. I know that name. The music is by Go Sakabe, and the action director is Jun Watanabe. Now, because I don't know who all these people are necessarily, I went ahead and took a bunch of screen grabs from Special Form 12, who I believe is a translator and who captured a bunch of good information and helped to contextualize all that stuff I said. So, Chihiro Inoue was the producer on Kamen Rider Z-O, and Takahito Omori was the producer on Build, which, interesting, Build, I think, handled most of its female characters very nicely in a very good way. Maybe not 100% how I would have wanted, but better than other shows. And Omori, I believe, is accused or slandered. Yeah, I mean, he's slandered for being like sexist or anti-woman. So that's kind of interesting. Which, there's a main female writer. Apparently, a bunch of people are decrying that she's going to be killed right away. And I think that's stupid because it's a new era. Maybe they're ready to branch out and go forward with her. I mean, at least I think she'll be, or at worst, I think, or I hope that she'll be minimally used, and at best, she'll be an amazing character. Like, I mean, just think about Super Sentai. Like, the lady whose name I can't remember right now from Lupin Ranger, both the female, Yellow and Pink, were like really cool characters. So why couldn't we get that here? Anyway, on to main writer. It's Yu Takahashi. Kamen Rider X-Aid, I believe, was his first Kamen Rider, but I don't remember that now. Sorry. But I think Kamen Rider X-Aid was fantastically written. There were lots of crazy things that happened. The designs were crazy. Some of the suits were, kind of ugly, and it turned people off. But I think the show was well written. A very excellently crafted story. And yeah, so that's what I have to say about him. The main director, Teruaki Sugihara, directed the, I guess, non-action parts of Lupin Ranger versus Pot Ranger. I thought that show was competently done, and I liked a lot of it. Well, the directing was competently done. Maybe the storytelling wasn't so great. I'm kind of in a weird place about Lupin Ranger versus Pot Ranger. I'm not as mad as some people were about it, and it was an okay show. Very enjoyable for the most part. Anyway, composer Go Sakabe did the music apparently for Resho Sentai Tokyuger, which I haven't seen because I was a jerk that year and decided not to give that one a chance because it looked too kiddie and dumb, and I've heard it's one of the best Super Sentai out there. So anyway, action director Jun Watanabe. Jun Watanabe, I believe, was formerly a suit actor. Let me see. Well, there's a bunch of character stuff I don't want to quite dig into. So I'm going to pause real quick and find my information on Jun Watanabe. I'm just going to go ahead and read the Kamen Rider Wikia entry on Jun Watanabe. It says, Jun Watanabe, or Watanabe Jun, is a Japanese stunt performer and suit actor from, okay, why not? Takarazuka, Hyogo Prefecture, affiliated with Japan Action Enterprises. He has been cast in many leading roles in the Super Sentai and Kamen Rider series, portraying a diverse range of characters. He has a child named Taiga with his current wife. Oh, cool. Okay, so his suit actor roles are... he was Kamen Rider Ryuga in Ryuki Episode Final back in 2002. In Kamen Rider Phase, he was some Orphanox. In Blade, he was an undead, and he also played Kamen Rider Liangle. In Hibiki from 0506, he was Kamen Rider Todoroki. From Kamen Rider, let's see, so he was Todoroki. But Kabuto, he was the Sword, Scorpio Worm, Kamen Rider Dark Kabuto, and he played some Shadow Troopers, I guess. And let me see. He also played Zabi in Kamen Rider Kabuto Godspeed Love. In Den-O, he played Imagine for like 5 episodes. Let's see, skip around. He was a Fangire in Kiva. He was Kick Hopper, Kaisa, Ryuki. Well, he played a ton of different characters in Kamen Rider Decade. You just have to look at the entry because it's too many. Let me jump forward a little bit. In Double, he was the Nazca Dopant, the Weather Dopant, our Nazca, and various other Dopants, it looks like. Let me see. In O's, he was Kazari, the cat greed, I think, and some yummies. Let's see. In Kamen Rider Forze, he was the Libra Zodiarts. Cool. In Wizard, he was the White Wizard, or Wise Man, and Kamen Rider Beast, and Phoenix as well, which is pretty cool. Maybe that's why we never had Phoenix and Beast fighting each other. I wonder. Let's see. In Gaim, he played Zangetsu Shin. Let's see. Okay, hold on. I gotta see who he was in Heisei vs. Showa. He played Decade, Double, Zangetsu Shin, okay? Or Shin Zangetsu, really is what I mean. In Drive, he was Kamen Rider Mach. Look at that. In Ghost, he was Denki Ganma. I don't remember that one. Kamen Rider Spectre. Huh, interesting. And it says Yamarashiroid. I don't remember who that was, so can't say. In X-Aid, I remember this. Kamen Rider Brave Level 2. So he was basically the secondary rider there. Kamen Rider X-Aid Double Action Gamer Level, I think the left side, so one of the twin brothers or whatever. And that weird form that X-Aid had with, it was him and Pallid. And Kamen Rider Kronos in episode 35, maybe because he had to fight somebody else. And in Build, he was Night Rogue and Kamen Rider Rogue, so that's pretty cool. He's also appeared out of suit as like extras or whatever in various shows: Fies, Hibiki, Kabuto, Wizard, Ghost. Let me see, is there any other information about him? So apparently, though, like some people online or on Twitter are saying that he's a good action guy, like Dustin, who's doing the Tamashi Tokusatsu Spirits. Sorry, I can't remember the exact name of the documentary, but he's doing the documentary about Western fans loving Tokusatsu, in which he's showing off a bunch of stuff in Japan, because he went and visited a bunch of locations where Tokusatsu shows are shot, and he is going to be sharing that with people, and he's going to be sharing interviews and stuff, and he just wants to like extend an olive branch to the Japanese, I guess, fan base, and maybe even like the creators of some of the stuff, and say like, hey, look, these Western fans love this stuff. Anyway, getting back to Zio, or Zero-One, I should say. By the way, it bugs me that Zero-One and Zio sound so darn close to each other, but what are you gonna do? Anyway, so I want to give props to Special Form 12, because I'm going to be basically just stealing a bunch of their information that they posted online. So anyway, I'm basically going to be reading some of their tweets. So we've got our main character, Hiden Aruto. I'm actually not going to share what they say about him, because they have like official information. I'm just going to say he seems okay. His like, I'm the president face was a little too much for me, but the guy looks pretty cool in other scenes. So like when he's supposed to be stern or serious, I like that side of him. That makes me happy. And then, yeah, I guess I'll just kind of judge the characters based on their looks. There's Fuwa Isamu, who becomes Kamen Rider Vulcan, which is the wolf guy. The cool thing about Vulcan and Valkyrie, who both work for A.I.M.S, which is the Artificial Intelligence Military Service, is that their suits are cool. No, their suits have a commonality where they're like half white, or maybe 60% white and 40% different color. His is blue, hers is orange. The white part of his seems very much like a plain base suit, and then the blue side actually has like the wolf stuff, because he's got, a wolf thing. And it's interesting that the transformation devices are guns. I thought it looked dumb at first, but actually watching them in action, set the gun onto their belt and then pull the trigger to transform, it looked really cool. We got to see him set it up, and then the lady finished it. So seems pretty cool. The guy seems fierce and intense. Like I hope that they're not going to be like trying to murder all these AI androids, but we'll see what happens, right? So let me see, moving on. So anyway, I said his name, Fuwa Isamu, he's Kamen Rider Vulcan, and then Yaiba Yua is Kamen Rider Valkyrie. Again, she's got orange accents with white, and the part of her suit that's white looks identical to the part of his suit that's white, except for there's like a more of a breastplate, a female presenting breastplate, you could say, on her armor to match the other side. And she's got like a cheetah as her animal, which I don't know why she's a cheetah. I don't know why he's a wolf either, but anyway. Her, like the headshot of her, I don't know if that's her from the show or if that's just her, like as an actress, a headshot that she has. I don't really get a good sense of her character other than she seems very neutral, which, neutral's not so great. I don't think she should smile more, but, it would be nice to see a little more character in the shot. But maybe she's a very reserved, neutral, serious business character, which I do like. So it's not going to bother me. So the next one is Izu. Izu is one of these Humagear people. So she's an AI assistant, and apparently she's just assigned to whoever is president. Now, Special Form shared that the guy here who's becoming the president, Aruto Hiden, he is inheriting the company like from his dad or his grandfather. So I wonder if Izu was the assistant to one of them as well, but I don't know for sure. Let's see. Then we've got Jin. He's a terrorist operative from the the terrorist website, whatever. He spreads data that rewrites the base programming of the Humagear, inputting them with evil conduct and ethics patterns that cause them to, rampage or whatever and cause destruction, which is why the A.I.M people have to attack. It'll be interesting if this terrorist group is public or not public, because if they're public, then there would be understandable sympathy towards the Humagear who are infected, and I would want to see the hero of the show help to reform them and fix them, heal them, you could say. And if it's not, it'll be interesting if there's an arc where they're just like destroying them and killing them, and then they eventually find out the sad, awful truth that these, Humagear are actually victims as well as the people who've been hurt by them. And it'd be interesting to have that moral dilemma raised and see where the show goes with that. I think narratively, it's sad, but narratively, I think that would be a more enriching experience for there to be some confusion about what is actually going on. Then there's an identification of the problem, and then an actual moral stance can be taken on the issue at that time. Hirobi is another terrorist guy. He believes that AI systems surpass humanity in every way. So I don't know if he wants to kill off the humans and let the AI inherit the earth or what, but could be what he's after. Let's see. There's this vice president guy of Hedon. I'm not going to read all this because in the past I've gotten really into these character descriptions, and you don't see much of those characters, or it kind of changes. So I think that's all I'm going to say. I think the show looks really cool. I like. It was funny. I was looking at those cassettes that they stick into their devices to henshin, and it's interesting. They're called progrise keys, like progress or rise, or progress and rise, I don't know, keys. And you click a button on them, and something flips out of them, and you stick that into the thing, and it's got a little button that says jump or whatever the ability is of the thing. And there's a personalized message that comes along with each tape. And I was thinking, it's very toyetic, but it's also kind of cool. I kind of dig it. I actually kind of want to buy the Hopper one just because I love the classic Kamen Rider Grasshopper thing. So that kind of excites me that, I'll at least buy the one. I hope that one isn't exclusive only with his belt or whatever. But it seems pretty cool. It seems like a lot of fun. I like the way the henshin looks, so that's exciting stuff. What else was I going to say? Oh, it's interesting to me. We're dealing with artificial intelligence, and they've got these little cassettes that look like video cassettes. I wonder if those are supposed to be data tapes. And it's just funny to me because, decades ago, Star Wars used the term data tapes, referring to what the Death Star plans were on. And, over the years, the medium that data is on has changed. And I'm not saying I could see it necessarily going on little cassettes like this, but why not? I mean, that could have, terabytes of data on it, those little tapes in the show, and that could be what you need to, perform the henshin, or not perform the henshin, but to assemble the rider armor and stuff. And I don't know, I'll be interested to see where they go with this AI stuff. That's the most intriguing thing to me. I really want it to be a sci-fi element and not just an idea they grabbed to justify creating monsters in the show. Anyway, that's all I have to say. This went way longer than I thought it would. Hopefully it was all entertaining and you excuse my tangents on political stuff. I am planning on checking out the first episode of Zero-One, and if I like it, I will stick with it, and I will do short, like 5 to 10 minute reviews of the show, give my impression on every episode, and that'll be something you can check out weekly on my channel, whether it's still called Recipher or something else. And I will also it could be called, I might change and rebrand and just have it called MJ Loves Toku, and drop all my tokusatsu stuff there. But you can also find that all at mjmunoz.com. If you type in tokusatsu or Kamen Rider or anything like that, or mjmunoz.com/podcast, you can see everything I'm doing there. Despite the fact that this is kind of an image heavy, well, it's not true. Anyway, I'll link the trailer in my show notes, and I don't know how I'm going to release this as a video, but it'll be up on my channel for sure. I just don't know what the details are of what images you're going to be seeing. So anyway, good luck with that. But sorry, I'm just trying to put this out pretty quickly, and that's all I have to say. If you like this, stick around, stay tuned. I'll be covering Zero-One, and I'd love to be covering it week to week and putting out little short reviews, and then if there's discussion to be had, let's discuss it, because I like the intersection of watching a show and discussing a show, having disagreements with people about it even, and talking them out, because that can be a lot of fun. Anyway, I gotta go. Take care. Remember to be the grasshopper you want to be in the world. I want to wrap up with a couple quick questions. Are you more or less excited about Zero-One now? Are you nervous about how Valkyrie will be handled? Does this feel like Appleseed to you? And did I get too political? Were my tangents okay? Because if they weren't, and I was too political, let me know, and I'll cut all that crap in the future so you can just enjoy hearing about Kamen Rider. Anyway, that's it. Goodbye. mjmunoz.com is home for all my work. Podcasts and reviews of anime, tokusatsu, Star Wars, and more. Plus my original writings. If you didn't enjoy this, critique me. If you did, leave me a comment. If you really like this, consider tipping me at coffee.com/mjmunoz. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Until next time, be well.